What's happening? What's going on? So listen, already new images of the W14 are starting to appear. We are in Monaco. New images of the W14 are starting to appear. So this is what we're going to do. We just finished a live earlier talking about Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari, Alonso, Aston Martin, and Honda. So I'm going to show you the images that we do have for the new update coming. Okay, so we already knew we were looking for aero package changes and floor we're not probably going to be able to see. But if you look right here, it is confirmed that Mercedes have indeed gone away from the slim down side pod. Now, if you recall the other side pod variation, it was vertical, slim down, didn't come out much. Right here, what you're looking at is a picture of the W14 side pod that is in Monaco right now. That carbon fiber looks good, but as you can tell, they have gone away from it. You have more of a horizontal elongation of the intake area as well as that rounded. So it looks like they have indeed decided that they're not even going to try to stick with a variation of that slim down side pod look. So right here, you can also see, if you look just beyond the suspension, this is a suspension picture, but if you look just beyond the suspension, which let me go back and see if we can probably here. If you look at this image, you can pretty much tell how that side pod, now this is a rendering of the W14, the season would come out, but it pretty much was this. And now you can see that vertical drop versus more out and elongated, more kind of like Ferraris or Aston Martins. You had the slim down side pod, which many of you said you didn't like, it wasn't going to work. I thought they might be able to get it work, but unfortunately they didn't. So this is what we have now. Now, as pictures start to come out, and more pictures come out, I will go live and update you on what the overall car is looking like. You can kind of get a sense from here of the suspension details, because remember, the suspension was again going to be a focus. Suspension, aero package, and the floor. Okay, they didn't so much say side pods, but you pretty much knew with the aero package that was going to be their attack area. The floor, we can't see the floor right now, and hopefully, fortunately, we don't get an opportunity to see the floor. Because if we get an opportunity to see the floor, that means that indeed they probably wrecked at Monaco. It's going on a tow truck. They didn't get it covered up good enough. So we really don't want anybody to wreck or endanger their life. They're already doing something dangerous as safe as they can. But as you see in the suspension left Monaco, a little bit more anti-dive on that upper wishbone area. Okay, now I was wondering if they were going to go away from a push type and go to a pull type rod system, but indeed it looks like they still stayed with the push type. So they still stayed with that, but there are some different angles and geometry added into these arms. And like I said, more anti-dive on this top wishbone. If you look over here to the right on Miami, you'll see that trailing arm for the wishbone is pretty much almost aligned with the other wishbone. And that's not even so much the angle of the picture. All right. And if you also look at that upper arm, that wishbone area as it comes and connects to the body, you can see, or the chassis, you can see that difference in that arm. All right. So they've revamped that suspension. To me, that's pretty big. Like that's a pretty big change. And that big change could lead to some good progress, good pace, good results. We'll have to see, right? It's all anticipated. It's all speculated until we actually see what happens. It's just a speculation. Right now, these are just strictly updates. This is not an upgrade. Remember, an upgrade to me must yield positive results. So these are just updates. They're changes. We want to see if they're actually going to assist Mercedes in making more race pace. So yeah, suspension definitely revamped. Side pod for sure revamped. They have given up on that side pod, and you could tell because you can see the support arm for the rear view, the side view mirror right here. So yeah, that's a done deal. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen here and how this is going to take place and how this is going to affect them. Now, you already know I wasn't the biggest supporter of bringing so many updates to Monaco because Monaco is a snooze fest. I don't think it's a great circuit. I don't think it's going to give them a lot of information, but plenty of people, and I do agree, any information and any data that Mercedes can get to further their progress and decrease their learning curve and increase exponentially their learning ability is good. So they're going to bring it here. They're going to get what they can get. But as you see right here, I will bring you more pictures as they start to come out. But yes, the side pod, the slim down side pod variation is gone. Now, what I'm interested to see now that we see this inlet area, what does this side pod look as it's trailing back and going back towards the rear of the car? What does the underside of the side pod look as far as the undercut, what we're accustomed to see with Red Bull? How does the floor mold into the side pod? All of this stuff matters. How it rolls into the back of the car. All of this stuff matters. The brake duct, like all of that's going to matter. Even the rear wing package, all of that's going to matter. Did they keep the cannons on the engine cover area? All of this is going to matter. A lot of you are going to be excited about the fact that the slim down side pods are no more, but don't get too excited just yet. We still need to see, is Mercedes going to be able to understand this concept? But we pretty much believe that if every other team understands it, then Mercedes should be able to get a handle on it. And they have a lot of other concepts in order to now, if they see a change and it looks progressive, to automatically go ahead and bring it over and integrate it into their concept, because now their concept is that of similar to the rest of the grid. That was the problem before. Mercedes running with that initial concept they had with the slim down side pod, well, it didn't give them a lot of an opportunity to try to take bits and pieces from other teams and then know that they had a small amount of variance where they could get it to work, or tolerance, because their concept was so much more different. None of that was really going to work. And if it did, it was a long shot. Well, now that they have a concept that is more similar to majority of the cars on the grid, they can now probably take things like Aston Martin has done, bits and pieces from here and there and ideas, and integrate them into their concept, and then hopefully they will yield more positive results. So sad to say, in some capacity, if you can't beat them, join them, fall in line type situation with Mercedes. It would have been great had an innovative idea like that slim down side variation actually worked in their favor. It was a big risk gamble, risk reward type situation. Had it actually worked and Mercedes was able to produce race pace that would have rivaled or exceeded Red Bull, then they would have exponentially had more advantage over the entire grid, because that concept didn't lie anywhere else beside for a smaller variation in Williams and McLaren, which abandoned that really soon. They abandoned it quickly. So that was the reward if it would ever have happened, but it didn't happen. So what they got was a basket full of risk. You lost out on at least 2 seasons, 3 seasons going to be of Lewis Hamilton's career, where he could have potentially got his 8th, maybe you even World Constructor Championships, and that entire direction, now you're having to travel back 180 all the way back across and come to where you are now. Big shout out, Paul, for the super chat, just popping in to say hi. He said, too busy at work today. Hope you all have a great, blessed day. Peace and love all. See you as soon as the next one. Definitely, bro. You know I'm going to be live. You know I stay active. You know I'm going to stay up here. And I'm telling you, more pictures are going to start to come out. This is only Wednesday. Okay, now you can be guaranteed by even this evening or maybe even tomorrow, Thursday, more pictures will start coming out. And as they start coming out, I will go live and we will share these pictures and try to go over them together. You give some of your feedback on what you think from a technical standpoint. I'll give some of my feedback. And then what we're trying to do is speculate whether we're going to see on Sunday an increased amount of race pace, or we're going to have to chuck in Monaco for just really a lot of data collection, which I'm not mad if they do that. If Mercedes decide not to focus on a lot of race pace and winning the race, but focus more on, like, we're just going to collect as much data as we can. We're going to run sensors. We're going to run flow vids. We're going to run aero race. And like Will said, if Monaco was able to fit aero race, because that track is very narrow, which is why I said it needs to be updated. But I'm not going to be mad if I see Mercedes break out the science lab kit, everything that they can to get as much data as they can before Spain, because that track is better suited for them to run it up. Monaco is not a run it up track. Monaco is a train, get in line, fall in line, don't pass much type circuit. It's not. That's why people call it a snooze fest. But anyway, as you see right here, 2 images that I have for you indicating the suspension changes, and another image I have for you, which is a very monumental image indicating that Mercedes has abandoned the slim down side pod. All right. So big shout out to you all. Big shout out for coming back in. I know I just went live, came off, but I'll stay active. So when I see something that I can bring to you, we're going to go ahead and share it together. talk about it together, and then move forward. So like I said, as I get more photos, as more photos come out, I will go live again and we'll see what is the entire or overall direction at this point in time that Mercedes has moved or made progress in. So stay tuned. Stay live, hit the button, hit the bell, click notifications so that when I go live, you get the notifications. Subscribe to the channel so that when I go live or videos post, you get the notifications. Don't forget, come back here for Kickback Quality Live Qualifying Watch, where we have trivia games. People win real money. You will be able to spend for a $25 or $50 gift card on Sunday of the GP. We have a good time here. I will see you all soon. Believe it. This is going to be a hype week. I know Monaco is not the best race, but there are a lot of things going on. Aston Martin and Honda deal, supposed Ferrari deal for Lewis Hamilton. Now the W14 being updated and starting to see the images of what this car is going to look like. And I love carbon fiber. So y'all stay up. Peace.